Week 6 waiver wire. Let's get it started. Do you have questions at quarterback? Don't worry, I got you. Brock Purdy, 3 games in a row with 20 or more fantasy points. He gets the Cleveland defense, which is not a good matchup, but after you take down Dallas, you're gonna be flying against Cleveland. Fire him up. Matthew Stafford has had 300 or more yards in 3 of the last 5 games, but on top of that, he's finally getting touchdowns. Last week he had 2 touchdowns, and he has Cooper Kupp back to go alongside Puka Nacua. I think he's gonna be a fine start. Sam Howell had his best fantasy game of the year with 26 fantasy points. He plays against Atlanta. They don't really scare me. I think he's a fine start. Are you weak at wide receiver? Don't worry, I got you. With Justin Jefferson going down, KJ Osborne is going to get more involved in this offense. Obviously, if Jordan Addison's on your waiver wire, grab him. But KJ Osborne is a lot more available. If he's out on your waiver wire, scoop him up. He'll be relevant for a few weeks for sure. Who knows when Justin Jefferson's coming back? Same thing with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm not sure what his health status is, but Josh Reynolds has been involved regardless. Double-digit points in every game he's played this season other than week 3 where he had no targets. Tyler Boyd going up against Seattle. If T. Higgins sits again, Boyd is definitely going to be involved. And on top of that, Bengals been looking pretty good. 4 wide receiver sleepers to keep your eye on. Joshua Downs with Gardner Minshew as the starting quarterback. I think his volume goes up. Rashee Rice, who has now had 2 touchdowns so far this year, and Patrick Mahomes seems to be getting the rookie more involved. Watch out for that. Curtis Samuel has had back-to-back games with 18 or more points. Yes, that's helped by the 2 touchdowns, but even if you take out the touchdowns, those are double-digit fantasy points. Curtis Samuel is worth an ad. Rondale Moore is getting involved in creative ways. He's had 50 or more rushing yards in 2 of the last 3 games. I like the way he's being used. Definitely worth the stash. Are you having a rough time at running back? Don't worry, I got you. Roschon Johnson. With Khalil Herbert going down with an ankle injury, Roschon Johnson is going to be the lead back. The only issue is, right now he's suffering from a concussion. If he passes concussion protocol, I think he's the main guy. That being said, Deonta Foreman was inactive in week 5. I also think he is worth a speculative add. Roschon Johnson should get the first crack at it if he's on the field, but Deonta Foreman isn't a scrub. I think he's worth an ad. Justice Hill is still available. These Ravens running backs aren't the most consistent, but I do like that he gets involved in the receiving game. 4 receptions. I like that. Amari DiMercato. When James Conner went down, DiMercato came in and did well. The coach seems like he trusts him. I definitely think DiMercato is worth a grab. 4 running backs you need to make sure aren't on your waiver wire. Jeff Wilson Jr., who has been activated off the IR. With Achane going down, Wilson can see some work coming up soon. Jaleel McLaughlin, touchdowns in back-to-back games. He has some tough matchups coming up with Kansas City, and it's a crowded backfield, but I definitely think he's worth a grab. And 2 of my favorite handcuffs, Tajay Spears, who looked good last week, and Kendre Miller, who's starting to get more involved in the offense. You like that. Are you having a tough time at tight end? Don't worry, I got you. Logan Thomas, 11 targets, 9 receptions, 77 yards and a touchdown. You can't have that performance as a tight end and not be at the top of my tight end list. Grab him. And it looks like Chicago's looking for Cole Kmet in the end zone. 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games. Not the stickiest stat, but I like that he had 5 targets last week and 9 the week before that. Are you desperate for a defense? Don't worry, I got you. Obviously, check to see if the Chiefs are out there going up against Denver in 2 of the next 3 weeks. You love that. And with James Conner going down, I think the Rams could be a solid flyer. I'm not super excited about it, but Arizona's probably not going to put up 30 points. They might give up some sacks. Click here if you want some more fantasy football info. We're diving deep this week.